Hi, this is Emily Loeb, and this is my presentation for my School of the Future. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Awesome. So this is like I said, my presentation for the School of the Future. So the focus of my school is really to educate the whole student, which means that schools and teachers must stretch the core subjects to meet the needs of the whole child. Teachers should address moral, social, and emotional questions when they come up in class with respect and sensitivity. And also learning should be individualized, which means that learning and activities can be modified to fit the needs of the individual student. The theme of my school is of the Future is to create a place where students of all backgrounds and capabilities can be the best versions of themselves while being taught academics, technology, and community values with the most educated workforce possible. The mission and vision of my school is to create an environment where students can thrive and be the best versions of themselves. And all the while, students will be learning core subjects, technology skills, and real-world skills. And by encouraging students to be the best versions of themselves, which educates their peers on the importance of differences and uniqueness, and also by teaching them the skills stated above, my School of the Future can prepare students for the future workplace, and it can also create well-rounded, balanced individuals. So the next few slides are going to be about what the school looks like, and the first couple are going to be creating like classrooms and activities that really meet the needs of each student. So the first one is that the school will have flexible seating, which, like I said, can be used to meet the needs of each student. A lot of kids can't sit in desks for 8 hours straight and sit still. So fun seating like the bouncy balls in that one picture, or like the rocking chairs in the other picture, allow the student to just move around while they're doing their work, and it can also create a more relaxed environment for them to learn in, which is good for some students. And like I said, it just really accommodates the needs of each student. So another part of individualizing education is creating varied assessment strategies. A lot of students have trouble taking tests, and there are plenty of other ways to gauge how well students understand the material. So you could use observations, essays, interviews, performance tasks, and quizzes and tests like usual. So all of these could be used by the students. In this picture, it looks like he's doing performance tasks with the teacher, and that's just an example of an assessment that could be used rather than a test. So another aspect of personalizing education comes with just like teaching students about their peers and the different backgrounds that their peers come from. So personalizing education helps students from different backgrounds learn about academics and about each other. Creating boards such as this one allows students to get to know one another, and boards like this also allow the student to correlate what they're learning in school to their own personal interests. So this is a board, this is a first grade board, but it's talking about their homework, and it has pictures of each student and just like what they found interesting in the homework and how it relates to them, which is really cool. And it teaches the students other students' backgrounds, and it really just creates a good learning community. Another portion of the school is really similar to what schools are like today, and it's just that teaching basic academics is still going to be a part of my School of the Future. I do think that it's important to teach the core subjects like language arts, math, science, history, and a world language, and really my school is just going to build on those foundational core subjects. So that will be included in my School of the Future still. In addition, students will have access to individual computers, individual iPads, and every classroom will have an interactive screen for teachers and students to use. The screen will be similar to something on that bottom left corner. It looks like the teacher and students are using that board. They're able to write on it. And then the iPads are also a really interactive tool. It's a fun way to learn. Like I said, it's super interactive for students, and it can definitely be used for students of all ages as well. And another good thing about the iPads is that you can download their textbooks on there, which makes not having to carry 7 textbooks around for each core subject a lot easier for students. So yeah. Another part of school, I'd like to teach students about the importance of community and camaraderie. It really helps create a balanced individual, which is part of the mission of my school. And in my School of the Future, extracurricular time will be used for students to interact with the senior citizen community, and they will also do community service, which I talk a little bit more about on the next slide. I think interacting with the senior citizen community teaches students a lot of wisdom, and I think it's really important for students to interact with them. So that will definitely be a part of my school. And like I said on the previous slide, students will participate in community service, which, like I said, helps create a well-rounded individual who takes pride in caring for others. In my school of the future, time will be allotted for students to partake in community cleanups and community organizations and stuff like that. They can help with food drives. They can help at, they can help at like thrift stores and stuff like that. In that top left corner, it looks like they're helping paint a house, which is really great for the community, and it really builds community values, which is a part of my school. Another part of my school is going to have a greenhouse and like a woodworking station, and these places will be used to teach obviously gardening and building skills, but I think it's also a great use of these places is that students can relate what they're learning in the classroom to the real world. So let's say that they're learning about plants in science class. So the teacher's obviously still going to be talking and lecturing about that in class one day, but they can also take them to the greenhouse and do hands-on activities, which really helps enforce and make concrete of what they're learning. So I think those are really good tools for that. And like I said, it also just teaches real-world skills. Like we like gardening and when we're outside of school, and also just furthers the interests of the students as well. And another part of the school is going to have a kitchen equipped for teaching students, and then obviously necessary staff will also be a part of the kitchen area as well. And I think cooking is a large part of being able to function on your own in the real world. So I think that teaching kids that in school would be a really, first of all, fun thing to do, and also really a necessary thing to do. I know that I recently moved out and I had no idea how to cook because no one taught me. But I think now that I had to teach myself, obviously, but I think learning that in school would be a really, like I said, fun thing to do, and also it really is helpful in the real world. So I think making that a part of my school of the future would be a good thing to do. And then another part of what the school looks like, this kind of has to do more with the curriculum, I would say, but it's just that teachers must educate students on financial literacy. I know a lot of high schools you typically are required to take a financial literacy class, but a lot of the time it's just kind of like a requirement, like I said, and students really don't get much out of it. So I think enforcing financial literacy from the beginning, really, even teaching like kindergartners about how to use money, like coins, stuff like that. Students will be required to learn how to use money, how to use a checkbook, how to balance a check, and how to open a bank account, and so much more that, like I said, really prepares them for the real world and the future, which is what school should be for. Another portion of the school is going to have a super nice teacher's lounge, and because this can really make all the difference for teachers. And like I said, just making an area where teachers can relax on their break can help reduce stress, and it can really help the teacher refocus their attention on the needs of their students. And then lastly, just for what the school looks like, there's going to be an area for teacher collaboration and professional development, because these really play a large role in having a well-educated workforce. Teacher collaboration allows teachers to learn from each other, and you can also listen to success stories from your coworkers and implement what they found successful in your own classroom, which is really a great tool to use. And then another part of the school will have a designated room for professional development, and I also wanted to include that teachers would be paid to attend the professional development courses just to really encourage them to come to these classes and courses, and these courses will happen regularly in the school. I think professional development is a large part in modifying your own curriculum and making it better, so why wouldn't you want to have these professional developments available all the time for teachers? So I think that's really important in having a well-educated workforce. So what is the curriculum focus of my school? The focus is on the core subjects, like I said. You're going to have math, language arts, which is reading and writing, science, and history. They'll also be taught technology skills, and they'll also be taught community-based learning, hands-on experiences, and real-world skills. So these are just a few links to some educational resources from my curriculum. A few of them are books that could be used in the classrooms, and some of them are websites that just have like STEM curriculum, which could be like activities that you could use in your own classroom and stuff like that. So the first part of the curriculum of the school has to deal with STEM, and STEM is a curriculum based on the idea of educating students in 4 specific disciplines: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, in an interdisciplinary and applied approach. Rather than teach the 4 disciplines as separate and discrete subjects, STEM integrates them into a cohesive learning paradigm based on real-world applications, and that's from HOM 2014. And then STEM education promotes inquiry-based and problem-based learning and educates students on the main careers that are available in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. And I think this is really important because it can create a lot of drive in the students when they're trying to understand, especially in high school, when they're picking their career choices, looking at colleges, what they want to go into for the rest of their life. STEM really gives opportunity for students to go into those 4 fields, like I said. And then STEM curriculum goes hand in hand with teaching technology, as the T in STEM stands for technology, and teaching technological skills is an important part of my School of the Future, just because I think the future is really technologically driven. So I believe it's important to have those skills. And then another part of the curriculum is student agency. Student agency is the capacity of students to act purposefully towards individual goals, change the established pattern of classroom interactions, and to actively evaluate learning practice for the specific contents. And that's Luo et al., 2019. Student agency involves the students setting advantageous goals, initiating action towards those goals, reflecting and revising, internalizing self-efficacy, which is from Poon 2018. And basically, student agency corresponds with the focus of teaching real-world skills in my school. It teaches students motivation, independence, self-regulation, and how to have a goal-oriented mindset, which is super important when you are going into college, when you are looking for a career, and basically when you have a career. Those skills can really help you all throughout life. So it's important to teach those young and build as they get older. So here's a list of 21st century skills that students will be taught that they will need in the workplace to succeed. And they are creativity and imagination, committed to making the world a better place. We need thinkers and doers. The students will be taught the ability to learn from others. They'll be innovative. There will be leadership, ability to problem solve, tech skills, curiosity, and customer-centric skills. Curriculum of the school. How will these 21st century skills be a part of the school's curriculum? So teaching student agency promotes 21st century skills like critical thinking, creativity, the ability to learn from others, and leadership by teaching the student how to self-reflect, how to have perseverance, and how to have self-efficacy, and how to have a growth mindset. And that's from Poon 2018. And then STEM also promotes the learning of the 21st century skills that are needed when entering the workforce, such as the ability to problem solve, the ability to understand and use technology, and the ability to produce innovative ideas. Plus, STEM prepares students for the technologically driven future, like I said before. And then lastly, why did I choose this theme and design for my School of the Future? I chose this theme for my School of the Future because I feel that today's schools have laid a great foundation for us to build on. I believe that our current educational system is doing a good job of educating students in the core subject areas, which is important. However, my School of the Future allows students to receive a more well-rounded education, which consequently yields more well-rounded students. I also chose this theme and design because it puts the needs of the student before anyone else. The individualization and design of my School of the Future, for example, the flexible seating, allows students to learn in an environment best suited for them. One of the main ideas of my future school is to encourage students to be the best versions of themselves, and by offering so many different learning environments, extracurricular activities, and by teaching core subjects and real-world lessons, students attending this future school will be equipped for the future. And those are my resources.